40 NES games for $30. You want that deal? I sure do. Let's get it. Let's get that deal. I was playing some Nintendo. Should probably take a break. I mean, it's getting a little bananas. Alright. But seriously, playing the NES, it gets me thinking. My brain nuggets start firing back to my gamer memory. The NES was my first real console that I ever had. And I had it for a long time before I got anything else. My collection is pretty heavy duty nowadays, but even as a kid, I eventually had around probably 40 NES carts in my collection. It's not too bad. At least it's felt like a lot to me. But I made a huge mistake. And it's probably the biggest regret of my life as a gamer. Getting deep in those gamer guts. Yeah. So let's go back and randomly access some memory. It's a nerd joke. So over time, my NES, as many of them do, started to get a little finicky. I get those flashing, blinking screens of death. Sometimes just a blank screen. Take the card out, give it the old... just like this. This is how I would hold the cartridge. I would also give it the old wiggle jiggle. The old wiggle jiggle. And eventually, most of the time, the games would start to work. There were a few games that just refused to work most of the time, but, they had their times, their moments. But then one day, nothing worked. Nothing worked. Not even the Nintendo official, quality-controlled cleaning kit was enough to get my system to work. And that flashing screen, it just kept terrorizing all my face bits. It was really like a video game version of the blue screen of death. So to me and my parents, it was broken. The system was down. The system was down. It was broken. Look, and there was no internet for me to just go in there and just search it up, see what was wrong, diagnose the problem. Now, of course, I know that it was the 72-pin cartridge connector. It would be a simple fix. $8, order the part, pop that puppy open, replace it, and it would have worked like a charm. Just mwah. Perfect. But I didn't know that. Wish I did. Because we threw the NES away. Threw it in the trash. Trashed it. Said hello to the garbage commander. Commander Garbage. So there I was, 40 Nintendo games, and absolutely no way to play them. And I didn't know that one day I was going to have the chance to relive all those childhood memories and play those games again. Okay, I was young, I was wild, and free. Well, not really. That's probably too dramatic. So I did what any broke youngster would have done back then. Pulled out the old paper version of Craigslist and made a sale ad in the paper. And I remember it exactly. The ad read, 40 NES games, $40. $40. That is $1 a piece for those mathematicians out there that have passed first grade. And I remember why the ad was so short, because it cost money per letter back then to put an ad in the paper. How dumb is that? That's crazy. But wait, it gets crazier than that. Some middle-aged guy called about it. Showed up. He was dirty, and he stunk. And he probably had a mullet. I'm not biased. Just memory's fuzzy on him. And I just assume he was awful. And he just starts just flipping through my games. They're in a nice big box. He's just flipping through all my NES games. Get his dirty fingers on them. So you got 40 of them? Yep. Give you $30 for them. 40 NES games for $30. You want that deal? I sure do. Let's get it. Let's get that deal. Wrong. You will never see a deal like that. Not even back then. Less than $1 a piece for good games. They weren't crappy games. They weren't all Mario Duck Hunt cartridges. These were good games. What's really funny is I said yes. I said yes. What? What? And off he went with his stinky trousers with my childhood memories in a box. $30. But there's one game he didn't get. The original Final Fantasy. For some reason, I don't know, maybe I just really loved the game, or I was ahead of my time. But I pulled this one out and said, you know what, Mom? You know what, Dad? You know what, Daddy? Because that's what I sounded like. I don't want to give this one away. And just put it on a bookshelf, and I kept it. And this is the original card. This is the only game that I still have for my original Nintendo collection. Pretty cool, I guess. What's your biggest video game regret? Maybe you traded in a game to GameStop that ended up being super rare. Maybe you dropped your Game Boy in the toilet. I don't know what you did, but I'm sure you've got a regret, and they always stick with you. I know mine has. Get back to my game. Tired of monkeying around. Alright, I'll stop. Okay. When did gaming become such a pat on the back experience? Good job. You got it. You did it. Good for you. Nailed it, buddy.